the top dog in the league, homie. Let's speak on it. It's a stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it. Don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. Won't kick it on me and go for three on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered. D's Corner. I'm the top.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to D's Corner. I'm D. Today's video, we're going to talk about the AFC South. We're going to do the offseason recap grade. We're going to touch on the draft, free agency, all trades, and everything related to the offseason, especially as we get closer and closer to training camp. Hopefully they do have it. But before we get to the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Help my channel grow. I really appreciate it. Putting a lot of time and effort into this channel. With that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. First up, we got the Houston Texans. They were the AFC South winners last year, made the playoffs. Offensive line is really shaky, but the shocking move of the offseason was when they traded away DeAndre Hopkins for a second-round pick and David Johnson. Within that second-round pick, basically, though, they traded it to the Rams for Brandon Cooks, who's my player spotlight in free agency, and then my player spotlight for the draft is defensive tackle Ross Blacklock out of TCU. Brandon Cooks is going to be a deep threat option for them. They basically traded him for DeAndre Hopkins and David Johnson. He gets the injury-prone label, but he's only had 4 injuries since 2014. In 2018, he had 80 catches for 1,204 yards and 5 touchdowns. Ross Blacklock is 6'4". He's 305 pounds. He's going to step in and replace DJ Reader. He's a big body. He's good against the run. He can push the pocket. He should be a nice compliment to J.J. Watt and help keep offensive guards from climbing to the second level off their linebackers and help keep them clean and allow them to make plays like they normally do. All right, the Houston Texans offseason recap grade for me is a C. Unlike the Vikings, the Texans did not get a haul of draft picks for trading DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals. They actually traded the draft pick they got for him to the Rams for Brandon Cooks. So they basically traded D-Hop for David Johnson, a bad contract that he has. He's been injured the last 2 years, and Brandon Cooks. They drafted a wideout. They signed Randall Cobb. They traded for Brandon Cooks. All of this to replace D-Hop. They have a lot of speed out wide with Cooks, Kenny Stills, and Will Fuller. Not sure if they're attempting to be the Chiefs of the South with a track team or what. Many teams that trade their best player in their prime usually get tons of resources, and they didn't get really anything. They didn't fill any holes or get a lot of depth through free agency or the draft, and the AFC South is always up for grabs. They look like they took a step back this offseason. All right, next up we got the Indianapolis Colts. I think they had a pretty good offseason. I don't blame Jacoby Brissett like a lot of people do. I don't think he had his full arsenal of weapons healthy at all throughout the whole season. But, I mean, he started 5-2 before he got hurt. I thought he would get an opportunity. But he's still on the team now, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll trade him. But my player spotlights would be, of course, the trade that we got DeForest Buckner from the 49ers for our first overall pick. And I got 2 people that I liked in the draft. Both of them were our first 2 picks, Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor. Both of them should make immediate impacts, and they're extremely talented and fit what we do very well. In DeForest Buckner, we're getting a 6'7", 287-pound defensive lineman. He's coming off a Pro Bowl. He was a second-team All-Pro. He helped form one of the fiercest defensive lines last year with the 49ers. He can close running lanes. He can push the pocket. And easily with his hands up, he can disrupt passing windows. He's young enough, but he's still a veteran and already got paid. And Ballard sees him as a defensive building block, and I trust Ballard. Michael Pittman Jr. is 6'4", 223. Some called him the best jump ball catcher in the draft. He had 101 catches, 1,275 yards, and 11 touchdowns in his senior year. Phillip Rivers loves tall receivers, and he got him a nice one. Jonathan Taylor, 5'10", 227, 4.39 speed, coming off back-to-back 2,000-plus rushing yard seasons. 3 seasons over 10 rushing touchdowns, 21 in his final season. Will push Marlon Mack in a contract year as well as apply pressure to move on from Mack with the stats he should put up behind this offensive line. This very well could be the offensive rookie of the year depending on how much playing time he gets. The guy had 21 rushing touchdowns last year. A lot of people talk about his fumbling issues, but Tiki Barber had fumbling issues too. That's something that can easily be corrected. Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, 1-2 punch behind that offensive line. Look out, AFC South. The Indianapolis Colts offseason recap grade for me is an A. It's not because it's my team. It's because I think they had a fantastic offseason. We re-signed Anthony Costanzo. We kept our core offensive line together. All 5 men are coming back. We added weapons. When T.Y. Hilton goes down, we don't have a passing attack. We got Trey Burton, who's familiar with Coach Wright in the system. We got Michael Pittman Jr., who with Parrish Campbell coming back and Zach Pascal all coming back. Now we have some weapons for Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, I was not a fan of the signing early on because Zach Pascal was our tallest wide receiver and he's 6'1". Phillip Rivers has never played with a receiver under 6'3", but now he's got Michael Pittman who's 6'4". I don't like Phillip Rivers' turnovers last year. A lot of people say it's because he had a sorry offensive line out in with the Chargers. We'll see, because he has one of the best offensive lines now in front of him. He has one of the best rushing attacks in front of him. With the AFC South always up for grabs, Houston, I feel like taking a step back, Jacksonville being a mess, and I'm not sure that Tennessee will be able to catch lightning in a bottle like they did last year, but we'll see. I really feel like the Colts should be able to make the playoffs. I'm not going to say easily, but with 7 slots now, we should be able to be in the mix. The Jacksonville Jaguars are up next, and in free agency, I mean, let's just be honest, it's not a lot of people lining up to go to Jacksonville. My free agency player spotlight is going to be Yannick Ngakoue, and the draft spotlight is going to be the cornerback C.J. Henderson, their first pick out of Florida. Tagging Ngakoue assured the Jags didn't lose him without getting a lot in return. He had at least 8 sacks since entering the NFL back in 2016. If traded, because he does not want to be there and he has not signed his tag yet, he could bring in 3 or 4 draft picks or plenty of assets to this team. And right now with the culture, the way that it is, stars not wanting to be there, it's the best move to make. I mean, you got Josh Allen. They drafted Caleb Von Chasen too. Go ahead and get rid of him. Get what you can get while you can. Build this team up the right way. C.J. Henderson, 6'1", 202-pound corner, 4.35 speed. A lot of people thought he was better than Okudah. He realistically could step right in and replace Jalen Ramsey. He's a good man corner. He's easily the number 1 corner on this team. He's played since a freshman at Florida with the SEC, so he's been challenged. The kid can produce. The kid makes plays. He finds the ball. As fast as all get out. He's sticky in man coverage. As you see him walking someone down, causing turnovers. The kid's a baller, and he's good for him. I mean, they need it. The Jacksonville Jaguars offseason recap grade for me is a C. This is a team that has so much culture chatter out of its star players in recent years that, in my opinion, I feel like they should have just wiped everything clean, brought in a new general manager and a new head coach. There was a lot of potential good head coaches out there too. Plus, this team had 12 draft picks. You can build a team with that. They have 2 first-round picks next year. A new regime could have possibly smoothed things over with Ngakoue and convinced him that things would change and convinced him that he's a building block and maybe convinced him to want to be in Jacksonville. The AFC South is always open. A few years ago, this team was in the AFC Championship game with a dominant defense, and now they don't even look the same. They do have Caleb Von Chasen, who they drafted this year, and Josh Allen, who they drafted last year, so they don't necessarily need Ngakoue. So if he doesn't want to be there, let him go. Get what you can get. I'm not just saying give him away like the Cardinals did with the Texans did with DeAndre Hopkins, but see what you can get. You could possibly trade him to the Jets for Jamal Adams and have you a nice solid secondary down there. Who knows? But you need playmakers on defense. You need guys who want to be there. And I don't think anyone's going to want to be there until this culture changes. And I don't think this team's going to do very well. And I think next year it's going to be a cleaning of house. Black Monday, when everyone gets fired, will come very quickly for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as I do not see this team anywhere near the playoffs. Finally, we have the Tennessee Titans. I think they had a decent offseason. They did lose Jack Conklin to the Browns. But I think, of course, it's not even a thought. The best part of their free agency was tagging Derrick Henry, making sure that he doesn't go anywhere. And my player spotlight for the draft is Christian Fulton, the cornerback out of LSU. Derrick Henry was the NFL rushing leader last year with 1,540 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5.1 yards a pop, and he single-handedly ran the Ravens out of the playoffs, basically turning Earl Thomas into his lead blocker. He's 6'3", 238 pounds. The guy's just a monster. He basically put this team on his back, and made sure they got to the playoffs. And you could see nobody wanted to hit him. Nobody wanted to tackle him. And going into next season, I just don't know if he'll be able to produce as much. Christian Fulton only has 2 career interceptions, but for where they got him and with his size and speed at 6 foot, 197, 4.46, an opportunity to learn behind Jonathan Joseph, I really think it's a good pick. It says a lot about him when he came in as a senior and everyone was targeting him besides the true freshman. The Tennessee Titans offseason recap grade for me is a B. Their defense was already tough, and they didn't lose much. What they did lose, they had younger players ready to play. Their offense ran, no pun intended, through Derrick Henry, and I'm not sure that this team will be able to catch lightning in a bottle 2 years in a row. Like I said before, you have a whole offseason to game plan on how to stop Derrick Henry, and I think teams will focus more on the run. They did upgrade their right tackle position with a solid rookie out of Georgia and Isaiah Wilson. Re-signing Ryan Tannehill to a big deal is a real iffy move for me. The team did play better with him under center, but when you watch the Chiefs game in the playoffs, when they focused on Derrick Henry and put the game on Tannehill's shoulders, he collapsed. And I just think this team is not going to be as productive as they were offensively next year, with teams focusing in on Derrick Henry and making Ryan Tannehill have to beat them. I just don't think he's capable of that. If he was capable of that, he wouldn't be on the Titans. He would still be in Miami. All right, everybody. It's the end of the video, man. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I really, really, really am putting in a lot of work on this channel. Please help me grow. Again, don't forget to check out my guy Static Spaz. His website in the link. The website link, is in the comment section below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we out of here.
Okay, now. I'm the top dog in the league, homie. Yeah. Let's speak on it. This stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it, don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. Won't kick it on me and go for 3 on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered, these corners. I'm the top dog in the league, homie. Let's speak on it. This a stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it, don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. Won't kick it on me and go for 3 on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered, these corners, like, yeah.